Welcome to episode 45 of the Retro Gaming Dads podcast.
In this episode, we will be taking a quick look at the highs
And the lows
of this past year. So join us for our 2021 Retro Review. I'm Anthony.
And I'm Barry, and this is the Retro Gaming Dads podcast, the podcast for everything retro and retro inspired. So, did you have a nice Christmas?
Yes, I did. I don't know who enjoyed it more, me or the kids. I'm pretty certain it was on par.
I was going to say, knowing you, probably you. I could imagine
What?
you running into their bedrooms in the morning, jumping on the back, going, "It's been!"
Do you know what? Saying that, I woke up to Esther sat in the boys' room going, "It's 7:30. Why are you all still asleep?" I was like, "Oh, is it?" So we then went downstairs and opened our presents at 7:30, which we were surprised about. We thought Sam's would be going, "It's 6:00. He's been, let's go." But no.
Oh, thankfully, Christmas Eve, Elliot was up at like 26, I think it was. Fortunately for Christmas Day, he only woke up at about 20 to 8.
Okay.
So it wasn't too bad.
No.
But we went down and we put footprints from our front door to our Christmas tree. So we have these like little stencils, and we just
That was a
put
long
bit-
way to do it, isn't it?
Yeah. I didn't realize it was only when I was halfway through. I was thought I should have done this from the back door.
Yeah.
And anyway, so we had all these footprints that were down. Elliot came down. He's like, "Oh, there's snowy footprints," and he was made up. And that he went in. He saw all these presents taking up like the corner of our room. First thing he does, goes gets the vacuum cleaner and vacuums up all the footprints.
Well, you know he's your son, don't you?
Priorities.
Looking at we do normally do that. Again, we've got the stencils and the fake snow and that, but
Yeah,
this year
we just
were
use
so
flour.
we were tired. Use flour. I know. We actually have this fake snow where you just mix it with water and it expands like 6 times.
Oh, right.
That's it. But no, it was a fantastic day, and from the sounds of it, you had a great day too with your kid as well. We got Just Dance 2021. I'm really enjoying it. However, it is tiring after a while.
Well, I'm sick of Lego now. Elliot got so much Lego. It was just too much.
Also, I got some gaming merchandise. I got an Xbox t-shirt and jogger bottoms.
I can see you in your Xbox t-shirt and underpants.
I could not wear it. Underpants.
I got the 20th anniversary Xbox controller.
Oh, did
The
you?
standard one. Unfortunately, it wasn't the Halo Elite.
Did you get Sonic?
Oh, yeah, I got Sonic Colors. And I got Fire Emblem's Warrior. All
Okay.
items that I purchased myself. It was one of those, I'll buy them. I'll just give them to people and go, just give me this.
Yeah, this I do. Thank you very much.
Unfortunately, I've not had time to even use any of them yet.
Well, I'm sure you will do at some point. However, going to the podcast, can you believe it's been a year since we've been doing this podcast?
Yeah, well, when this podcast gets released, it will be 1 day short of a year since our very first episode.
That's flown by.
Oh, it absolutely has. How do you feel it's been the last year?
It's been a roller coaster. Sometimes we came in and we were like, when you say last year, you mean the podcast or in general? Sorry.
Well, the podcast I was referring to, but
Yeah.
overall the year as well, because that's what we are
Well,
talking about.
The year's been a plane crash, but the podcast, however, has had its highs and lows. Like any podcast, you have some weeks where you do really well. You think you felt like you had a lot to put into it, and that happens more than often where we come away and I'm like, great, I felt that was a really good podcast. There's sometimes where you're there thinking back to you, going, oh, I could have done this, could have done that. But no, all in all, I'm really enjoying it, and I hope our listeners are also enjoying it as well as much as we are.
Yeah, I hope so. Have you had a look at how many countries people listen to this podcast in?
Now, I speak to you about how the podcast is doing quite often, don't I? And maybe you said at one point we had about 41 countries listen to us.
Not quite. 35 different countries
okay.
we've got. With the top 5 being the UK, where we're from. Makes
Yeah.
sense. Canada, which, I thought it'd
Interesting.
be in the top 5, but I'm surprised it was in second place. US.
Yeah.
Australia, which was one of the PAL territories like the UK. But then Sweden. Now that was the one that surprised me in the top 5.
That's interesting. I mean, not knocking
Hello,
it.
anyone
Thank you
from
very much for
Sweden.
listening. But yeah, hello, we appreciate it.
I don't know how to say hello in Swedish, but if I did, I'd probably mess it up.
Yeah, I was like thinking, can I think I could stab maybe a guess at it? I thought, no, I'm not gonna hash that one up.
No, I can barely say it in English, to be honest. So I'm not trying another language.
But not only that, so what episode are we on? Episode 45?
This will be episode 45. In total, we have released 46 episodes.
Because that's including the pilot episode, isn't it?
Yeah, episode 0. And we did do a bonus one for the Sonic 20th anniversary. Sorry, Sonic
Yes.
30th anniversary,
Yes.
which was unnumbered. So that's not including this episode, 46 episodes with over 30 hours of actual produced audio. And probably close to that much that we just binned off because it was so bad. So the worrying thing is people are actually hearing the good stuff, not the bad stuff.
I don't know. Well, you like to leave it in every now and then, just a little cliff at the end.
Yeah. I suppose actually it's a good time to talk about probably the elephant in the room. We've been talking about Phil an awful lot, but he's not been here. So
Yes.
unfortunately, Phil's no longer doing this podcast. He's always welcome back on. So if you're listening, Phil, you want to come back on and have a rant or a rave about a game or anything, you're always welcome.
There was just other commitments.
Yeah.
But yeah, Phil's always welcome back to join us for another
Doing the
episode.
podcast hasn't been
Smoothest?
as quite as easy as we thought. We're still trying to find our feet. We
Yes.
still don't know how to actually end an episode, which I'm sure people
We
have
still don't know how to
noticed.
do an episode.
Well, yeah. Hopefully we're getting there. Hopefully we're sounding a little bit more natural in the way we're speaking it as we're doing podcasts. And hopefully people are liking us maybe spending a bit more time talking about our past experiences and memories and what we like, more so than just doing the news. We're not the BBC, so
Well, no, we like to try and give a bit of realism to it. Like to connect to the users with the listeners, I guess. Users, that's work for you. Most people that will listen to the podcast will be gamers who also have passions or who also have the same thing. So they listen to it, and be like, "Oh yeah, I remember that."
we'd always love to hear from you as well.
Yes, any reviews, anything at all.
So, as we say, you can always contact us at podcast@retroages.com if you want to email us, or you can visit our website, which you can find at retrogamingdads.co.uk. We do want to see what you do and don't like. That's why we're always asking, drop us a review. Even if it's a bad review, we'd appreciate it as long as it's constructive.
Yeah, and you would get a mention.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, actually, you leave us a review
Yeah,
before the end of January, we will give you a shout out.
we will.
We
We'll
will.
give you a shout out.
Another change for the podcast, actually, going into 2022, just really quickly, is we're now moving to every other Friday rather than
Yeah.
every other Monday. Hopefully, having the podcast come out on a Friday might be a bit more beneficial. People can listen to it going into work on a Friday or just over the weekend. We're just giving that a little trial, see if that's any better than releasing on Mondays.
Anyway, back into the review of 2021.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, I know it's only just come out, but Halo Infinite has definitely made the end of the year fantastic. I even saw there was a review website which has given Halo Infinite the game of the year for them. It's only
Mm,
just come out. That's been a brilliant end to the year for me.
yeah. I'm playing through the campaign again, getting all those unlockables I missed first time round. I've really enjoyed it. I've actually been playing an awful lot of it as well on Xbox game streaming service. Just because I'm too lazy to go downstairs and turn the Xbox on, I can just do it from my iPad or my PC upstairs with an Xbox controller.
Game streaming was such a fantastic thing for Microsoft to bring out.
It is. It is.
What a step.
Unfortunately, it's a bit hit and miss for the multiplayer. Sometimes
Yeah.
I just get like that fraction of a second delay, and it's just so infuriating. That possibly might be more to do with my internet connection, and I am running over Wi-Fi. But it's been a nice way to just jump into a game really quick. Or in some cases, like with Riftbreaker, which I absolutely hammered. I could only play that on game streaming service because I'd got shut of my Xbox Series X.
Well, tell you what, since we would talk about playing things in game streaming, obviously that's part of Game Pass. We'll jump into Game Pass and talk about how Game Pass has done this year. Because Game Pass, again, has just gone from strength to strength to strength, in my opinion. I don't see any
Absolutely.
downsides to it. I see it going only one way, and that's up. Even though you've got some people trying to pick it apart and say it's a waste of money, I don't see how it is.
Yeah, I think it was Polygon who wrote a scathing article about Game Pass saying that it's the biggest con in gaming because
That was it. Yeah.
once you stop paying for it, that you no longer own these games. Back in the day, if you went to Blockbusters and then cancelled your membership with them, you couldn't rent a VHS or a DVD. If you go on Netflix and you cancel your subscription, you can no longer watch Squid Game or anything else on there.
Yeah, you compare Game Pass to Netflix. Now, people obviously want to watch movies. You get Netflix because it's a fantastic value for it.
Yeah,
Same in gaming, but the difference for me here is, so you're spending however much money for Netflix and you're watching the TV programs, which could, I don't know, a series could do you maybe 20 hours sort of thing.
that'd be a pretty long series.
Oh, yeah, Friends are definitely not long. But then you want to play a game on Game Pass. Well, how long could some of those games take you to complete? Time
Ah,
percent.
no idea.
Yeah, so it's one of the things of, if you're a gamer, Game Pass is such a fantastic value. Yeah, I think, did I share a post with you saying how much it would cost if you'd bought all these games?
Oh, you did.
It was over $6,300, wasn't it?
Yep, $6,317.35 to be exact.
Now that is insane for paying. I don't know. Is it £20 a month?
I think it's less than that, isn't it? About £15 a month.
Oh, I can't remember.
I don't know.
But
I've still got my Xbox Live subscriptions active for another 2 years, I think it is, and then I paid that
I mean,
pound to
it's
upgrade
definitely
it.
less than £30 a month sort of thing.
Yeah,
Do you know what I say? I think it's 11.99 a month. So for 11.99 a month, you get Xbox Live, Game Pass, all the bonuses and perks you get, and Halo Infinite. I'm playing that straight through Game Pass the entire time. I've spent hours and hours playing that.
yeah. Don't
It's
forget, you also get
such
on
a great
top of that
value.
things like reduced sale prices
Yes.
and games with gold, which I think Microsoft are not really putting much emphasis in. Although for January, you can get Radiant Silvergun, one of the best and most expensive Sega Saturn games.
What is it?
Yep. It's a bullet hell shooter. I absolutely love it. It's fantastic. Never been able to complete it. It's too damn hard. Or I'm too rubbish, one of the two.
I think the latter. Game Pass is just going to get better. This year, obviously, they got ZeniMax, which came with all the Bethesda games.
Yeah.
So that opened out to so many different games just on their own there. And then coming up next year, obviously, we've got stuff like Fable, Grounded when that comes in fully, and then State of Decay 3 as well, amongst many others. Now, these are all AAA games, which, they must have titles rather than to go down to the shops and spend 55, 60 quid on a game that you might have a few months to trade back in, just play on Game Pass. You don't need to spend that money, and that's it done. So
Yeah.
I think Game Pass for me this year has definitely made the biggest impression on me in regards to anything gaming wise at all.
Well, not only that, with Game Pass, like you're saying, all these AAA games, it's pretty much paid for itself with just Halo
Yes.
Infinite and Forza Horizon 5. The cost of those two games new would have probably been close to the yearly cost of it anyway. But it's a lot of the indie games that I'm playing, the smaller titles that
Yes.
I may not have actually gone out and purchased or played if it
I
weren't
wish
for the
I'd bought
fact that they are
Undermine.
in there.
I wish I'd bought Undermine so I can finish that off because that was on Game
Yeah,
Pass, wasn't it?
yeah.
Loved that game, and I was sad. I was like, "Oh shoot, it's gone." I think I would have actually purchased it if I'd have realised.
What was like Rift Breaker? I was like, oh, do you know what? It looks all right. I'll give it a go. Next thing you know, I'd spent like 70 hours on it and 100%ed the game.
Yeah,
I'm there running around punching enemies to get my last achievement.
uh, same as for what's it called, the Mercenaries game,
Which game? Sorry,
the Mercenaries one, where again you go around a massive mech. You can either go in third person or first person, and you
Mech
go as a
Warrior.
squad of three. Mech Warrior, there we go. Mech
Right.
Warrior. There was a Mech Warrior Mercenaries, something
Yeah,
like that.
Mech Warrior
Three or
5 or something. I don't know what it
But
is.
yeah. Anyway, that game again. That's one that I fancied playing. It came to Game Pass. I was like, oh sweet, you know what I want with my anything to do with mechs. I'm in.
Yeah.
So I saw that. I was like, oh, awesome. I'll try it. Really enjoyed that as well.
I do think overall Microsoft have had quite a positive year.
Yes.
It's been the 20th anniversary. They dropped, what was it, like an extra 60 games on backwards compatibility?
I was 76.
Was it?
Yeah.
We're starting to get a lot more exclusives coming out as well.
Yep.
Something which beginning of the year, the end of last year, they were really struggling with. All the Sony fans were going, "Oh, you got no exclusives," which, in all fairness, they were completely right.
But Sony don't have any now anyway.
I wouldn't say Sony had a massive amount, but they did have some, especially like the Spider-Man games.
Mm.
But over the next couple of years, as you say, we're getting Fable, Hellblade 2,
Starfield.
Everwild from Rare. Starfield, yeah, sorry.
Oh, that was
Starfield's another
fantastic.
one. State of Decay 3, we're almost certainly going to see another Forza Motorsports in the next year or two to compete
Yeah.
with like Gran Turismo on the PlayStation. And it's the amount of studios, they've got over 20 studios now. They're just pumping out games, like high
I'm just
quality
waiting for them to
games.
purchase Sega. That's what I want.
Yeah, just come on, Microsoft, just do it.
You'll make Barry's life.
Yeah. I think Microsoft are having a great year. Unfortunately for them, Sony, as far as I can tell, is still outselling them. It seems like it's going to be a repeat of last generation, at least at the moment, with Microsoft coming in third place behind Nintendo, then Sony. But I'd probably say overall the biggest positive influence in console gaming.
Oh, 100%. Phil Spencer's leading the charge for trying to unify them all and make it all, instead of being separate, you're trying to make just like a gaming empire of all three together. He's trying to make it as not separate entities, not console war, but console competition. I don't know, but he's
Well,
trying to
yeah,
make it into a lot more of a friendly thing.
one of the weird things this year, we have a PlayStation Studios game on Game Pass for the Xbox,
Yeah.
and we're seeing multiple Microsoft published games or ones by Microsoft owned studios coming out for the PlayStation. I feel like Microsoft are really starting to blur these lines between each console now.
Well, Phil, he congratulated Nintendo and he congratulated Sony on the releases. He has a Switch on the shelves whenever he's done an interview.
Yeah, he done an interview, didn't he, in
Yeah,
Animal Crossing?
Animal Crossing. So it's all that. It's making a gaming community, and that's what we want to definitely help push forwards in any way we can do.
Yeah.
We do talk about Xbox and Nintendo, not just PlayStation, but that's mainly because there isn't really news that we can take to put on this PlayStation.
And
If there
I'm
was,
too
we'd
poor to
use it.
buy a PlayStation as well.
Well, yeah, both of us are. We're not trying to exclude PlayStation at all. Just in my opinion, they've not had a good news year, I guess.
Yeah, especially with things like the issues with the CMOS batteries or the
Yeah,
C bomb, whatever it was called. It's not been a lot of positive news for them. Although, in all fairness, it's not been a lot of positive news for a lot of the gaming industry, especially with what was going on with Blizzard Activision. And similar thing seems to be going on with Ubisoft as well at the moment.
yeah,
There's been a lot of studios where the staff have been complaining about crunch time at the end of projects, having to work 6 or 7 day weeks or a lot of overtime. And unfortunately, I don't know, it can't be good long term, definitely, for the industry.
it can't. But then you kind of think of how else can they change it? They need to. This comes to crunch time. Are they gonna have to do the same thing as Halo and push the release date, or they
Yeah.
just pre-plan ahead forwards? Say, give a release date. I don't know, a few weeks after they should be finished. They should give them more time to do it. Do you know what I mean? They need to try and work different things out. That's what they pay people the big bucks for.
Yeah.
You know, think about staffing levels and think about their mentality. Thinking about it, I don't think we hear much about the effects that game developers sometimes get from it. Can you imagine the amount of stress they must go through? Especially like when they released the gameplay demo for Halo last year. 343 obviously released this gameplay demo for Halo Infinite. It got
Yeah.
delayed. Can you imagine the amount of stress and everything else they got put on after that? Think about how much they're putting into this game. We
Yeah.
love this game. It's fantastic. They'll be hearing the reviews, but at the time, their boss might be going, "What on earth have you done? You need to fix this now." It's like, hang on a
Well,
second.
yeah. Hopefully, they had a bit of a sense of humor from it.
Well, they
There is
did
the
with
Easter egg for
Craig.
Craig. Yeah.
There's a couple because I found another one. So there was the one where he was in this band set, and there was
Yeah.
another Easter egg where his face is somewhere else as well, as a poster on a wall.
But this isn't anything that's new. One of the most infamous ones was on the Sega Saturn with Sonic Extreme, where they overworked some of the staff to the point where I think one of them even got pneumonia and was sleeping in his office under his desk.
Flipping out.
So it's something that unfortunately I don't think they're going to magically fix next year or anything. And I do think that's why we need a lot more smaller indie titles or even experiences. Just out of curiosity, have you seen the Matrix Resurrection experience on Xbox Series S and X?
No.
You know the Unreal game engine.
Yes.
They've actually made a very small demo, if you would, for the new Matrix movie, and it looks ridiculously good.
Oh, really?
It's more to show off what Unreal Engine 5 can do. The intro to it, I actually watched it, and it was only when it was about three-quarters of the way through that I clicked it wasn't a video.
Oh, really?
It was computer-generated characters. It was in-game characters. It looks insane. Unfortunately, because I haven't got me Series X anymore, I can't play it. It's only for Series S, X, and PlayStation 5.
Mm.
So download it and have a look at it and tell me if it looks
I
as
will
good as
have
the
to have a look.
videos make it look. But I do think we need a lot more smaller experiences,
Yeah.
a lot more indie games.
I like
So
the indie sort of games.
yeah, I think
They,
with the exception of Halo Infinite and Forza Horizon 5, I think most of the games I played this year have been a lot smaller in scope.
yeah. Indie games have always done well with me, especially I think because the art style sometimes because they are a lot more creative with the art style as well sometimes.
Well, indie games can have any art style. They can
Yeah,
look like a AAA game, or they could look like Tetris.
yeah,
Yeah, as we said last week as well on the podcast, if an indie game fails, it's bad. It can be really bad, but usually only for an individual or a couple of people. Whereas if a AAA game bombs, that can be bad for a lot of people's
yeah.
livelihoods.
So, what is one of your favorite things from this last year?
From last year, well, I actually have put Pipe Hacker. So this is an online service.
Yep,
A lot more things are going cloud based, which is convenient, but I don't know if I like for the long term.
I think PiePack has definitely done it in the best way they can do for the
Yes.
consoles that is doing it for as well.
It's far from perfect. As we said, we had some issues where if we were playing a two-player game, you can't like tag another player in if there's three
Yeah,
of you in the lobby. So one of you just ends up being a spectator.
that may have changed. It's been a while since it's been a little bit of time since we played, hasn't it?
I played it last week. I was playing a couple of games on it,
Okay.
but not in multiplayer, so I can't really
For being able
confirm
to
where it
play the
has.
stuff though, we do have to thank PiePacker for hooking us up there, don't we?
Yeah, yeah,
We really
absolutely.
appreciate it.
It's a free service, no adverts. You can go on, you can play, and this isn't sponsored or anything.
No.
So you can go on, you can play the games. I don't know how many games they've got on there. Didn't we last count? It was like 50, 60 retro games.
Yeah, it's easy going up. I get emails about them all the time, adding more games in.
You can now bring your own games. I do think that's a premium feature, although they
Yeah.
were allowing people to do it for free over Christmas. And you can actually bring not only your NES, SNES, Mega Drive games, like they did originally, you can
Yep.
also bring Mass System, Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance, N64, and PlayStation 1 games now.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That is absolutely insane. And so, what? How many consoles are across? Sorry.
Is it 6 or 7? I've already forgot.
Yeah, 7.
7,
That's a
right.
lot
Yeah.
of consoles that they cover.
Yeah.
And they can easily expand that as well.
Well, yeah, they have, because originally I think it only launched with 3, didn't it? NES,
Yes, it
SNES,
did.
and Mega
Didn't it
Drive.
launch 3? And then didn't
I think
they,
they added
because we
Game
hit
Boy.
targets, they added another. Yeah, they added a Game Boy. I thought they added
Yeah.
another one over the targets.
N64 appeared with
I,
PlayStation 1, and I don't know when Mass System appeared on that list.
well, I don't remember PlayStation and N64 being even said in the Kickstarter about it.
Yeah.
I don't remember seeing it listed at all.
But the ability to use your own ROMs or ISOs, play them, play online with other players while you're in a video chat as well.
And then also, having the external hardware to plug into your PC and plug a cartridge
Yes.
into that as well.
Yeah, that's not
It's
required. That's just
no, it's
something
not. But
optional.
I know it's something optional, but it just means that your games aren't sat somewhere. You can actually use them.
Yeah,
Playing PC, well, if you ever wanted to play your Pokemon Blue on the PC, you just get your your console adapter, and just pop in there, pop, job's
yeah.
done.
There has actually been a lot of hardware for your original games as well this year.
Yes,
So finally, Polymega got released. Kind of.
finally.
You can buy it. Most people still won't get it until spring next year. On top of that, we've also talked about the Evercade Versus, which is a new cartridge based console.
Yeah,
So the Versus is actually the home companion to the Evercade, which is like a handheld.
yeah.
And you can pop cartridges in, plug some controllers in.
Because you can put two cartridges in at a time, can't you?
In the Versus, yes, you can
Yeah.
actually put two cartridges in at once. On top of that as well, we also had the GB operator,
Yep.
which was a little dock that you could plug your Game Boy games in, play them on your PC, back them up, restore your saves, even told you if your game might be fake or not, which was a nice little feature as well. And we also had something else that I've completely forgot. Oh, Analog. Analog have recently released the Analog Pocket,
Yes, it did.
which we talked about earlier in the year as well. A new FPGA based Game Boy that runs Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color games with an adapter can play Game Gear games as well.
Yeah.
And in the future should support Neo Geo Pocket games as well. And I think Atari Lynx was planned as well.
Now, I like. We have mentioned it before, and again, we are doing a recap. But again, this year, I feel like has been very retro supportive. I guess I could say. A lot of
You
things
could
that have
say that. It
happened.
doesn't really make sense. Retro
No,
supportive. I
how
know
can I
what you
say?
mean, though. I know what you mean.
It, it's been very heavy in regards to making you able to play your old retro games.
Yeah.
Putting things in place where you can again plug your cartridge to play it on your PC or your TV, play online. Retro is coming back in, as like many of the things, but the gaming industry themselves have really put a lot into making sure you can play your old cartridges that are not just sat somewhere getting dusty.
Yeah, it's definitely being embraced. Even Phil Spencer's come out and said he thinks that all the big companies like Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo should really invest in emulation so you can play these games via emulation, not just re-releases every 5 years when there's a new generation.
Xbox, you can pay to put into dev mode, can't you? And then you can play ROMs and that, can't you, on there?
Well, yeah, there's a version of RetroArch for it that allows you to play, well, practically anything.
Because to change it, it doesn't cost so much to change it into to pay for dev mode, does it?
$20, I think it is. I think it was like
So that's not much
16
at
quid,
all.
something like that when I
And
looked.
then once you've paid for it, it's yours, and you can switch between two versions.
Yes, you just need
So
to. You can't
it's
play retail games until you've restarted
yeah,
back into standard mode. Then,
no, but that's what I mean. You can switch between two different modes. So the fact that Xbox has put that feature in, that's them saying, yeah,
well,
we'll help you out to play any old ROMs you got.
sorry, just really quickly, that isn't Microsoft putting that in. So you've always been able to put your Xbox One or Series console into dev mode. That's more
Okay.
for if you want to create a game and you want to test it on your
Ah,
own
got you.
console. It's just once it's in dev mode, you can actually run unsigned code. So in this
Okay.
case, RetroArch, which allows you to do it. But what I will say is, I do think a lot of this massive comeback of retro and retro style games, one, I think it's always been there in the background, but I think it's got so, as you just mentioned, so much noise recently because of the lockdowns around the world as well. A lot of people are stuck in the house. They can't socialize as much as they used to be
So
able
we'll
to.
get their old kit out.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Well, the sale of retro items started going up while we were in lockdown, and unfortunately, with all these things, with $1 million Super Mario Brothers games selling and that, it's only getting worse and worse.
From scalpers.
Yeah, and oh yeah, on top of that, scalpers as well. But I do think a lot of people are looking for that nostalgia hit. Play those games that they used to when they were a kid, when they didn't really have worries about, they're on furlough, COVID, not being able to
Yeah.
see and socialize with people easily enough.
So it's trying to get their minds free and not be dwelling on what's going on.
Well,
Because
yeah, I know I
end of
play
the day,
games for a bit of escapism at the end of the day.
I was just about to say, end of the day, everyone needs to relax, chill out, escape for a bit. And a lot of people, it is into game consoles where you can just sit down. To me, if I play Halo, I can switch my head off and just focus on just going and killing things. My wife doesn't understand it because she's like, playing a game, you can't switch off. I'm like, actually, to me, a game is beyond relaxing because I can just chill out, play with everyone, and just I know what I'm doing, and that chills me right out.
But then again, she's been playing Animal Crossing, hasn't she? And I'm sure it's the same for her. All the worries from the day just go. She's concentrating on upgrading a little house, paying off her fifth mortgage to Tom Nook.
No, to her, it's not relaxing.
Oh, is it one of them?
Yeah.
Sounds like Mario Kart when I'm playing it with Kerry then. But yeah, there's definitely been a lot more new retro hardware, as well as retro games.
I was about to say,
I'm not only talking about games like that are coming to Xbox Live or
th-
PlayStation Store,
things going
but
through Kickstarter and that.
yeah, physical N64, Game Boy, Mega Drive cartridges, things that you can hold in your hand, pop in your system, it not load, pull it out, blow spit all in the cartridge connectors, thinking that helps, slam it back in. Some of the games that we've talked about, Paprium, that was the big one.
Oh,
That's
yes.
that's the one that stands out in your mind, isn't it? Because you got the leather thong with it.
No. I knew you were going to mention that as well. That's one
You
that
knew I
cost.
mentioned it. See, it was in your mind.
No, a second you mentioned it, I'm like, for flip's sake, he's going to bring that up now, isn't he?
But on top of that, Worms Armageddon came to limited run games as a physical cartridge for the Game Boy Color and N64. Good Boy Galaxy is a game that's been recently funded on Kickstarter. It got over £200,000,
Was that the dog
and
one?
that's a brand new Game Boy Advance game coming out. So it's still there. If anything, as you said, it's getting more popular over the last couple of years.
I think this year's been a fantastic year for retro gaming, and I don't think it's going to stop. I think it's starting. Now everyone sees the gem that retro gaming is. It's just going to keep attracting more people in. It's going to keep going. I think we're going to see more Kickstarters for these games. We'll see Pipe Hacker expand even more. So, I think it's going in the right direction. And not only that, you are getting a Steam Deck. Can you imagine all the retro games you could put onto that one?
Eventually, to be honest, that's probably like 90% of the reason I want a Steam Deck. Just so I can stick emulators and that on it. Portable Sega Saturn, that's all I want. And not like the Sega Saturn that we talked about last week where someone just cut one in half.
Oh, that was a shambles, but yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a really good year so far
it
for
has.
retro. So, just before we start talking about some of the big anniversaries we've had this year with gaming franchises, we would like to say if you're enjoying this podcast, we'd love it if you could just take 2 minutes to leave us a review on your favorite podcasting app.
We would love to hear from you. It's great to get any feedback. And if you'd like to support us further, we also have a Patreon where you can become a member for as little as £2.50 per month and listen to ad-free extended versions of the podcast.
Any support you can give us, greatly appreciated. 2021 seems to be the year of all the big anniversaries.
Yeah, what? I can't think of any for next year.
I'm sure there will be some. I'm positive there will be some. First of all, early in the year, we actually spoke about Xbox's 20th anniversary,
We did, yes.
and we went through our 20 top Xbox games. Do you remember any of your picks?
Um, well,
I remember yours was
obviously Halo.
Star Wars, the other Star Wars, another Star Wars.
I didn't actually use any Star Wars. That was all Phil.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
Blaming
so
that.
shush. I remember doing Halo, Splinter Cell, and Unreal Tournament.
I just remember Steel Battalion. I still need to get that
That's
game
one that
back
comes into
again.
my head as well. You know, I never played it. That's one that comes into my
Oh,
head.
no. The game itself was, it was okay.
It was the experience.
The controller made it. Also, that little bit of stress, thinking, if I die now and I don't eject in time, it deletes my save.
You never know. One day someone might do a Kickstarter asking for it, and we're like, "Yep, we'll fund for that one."
There has actually been ones in the past.
Oh, really?
Unfortunately, none of them came to fruition.
Oh,
So both Mario and Sonic had big anniversaries,
yes.
so 35th and 30th respectively.
How do you feel like their anniversary content went?
It was a bit lackluster, to be honest. Sonic had a few toys, didn't have a new game. Similar with Mario as well. A couple of re-releases or enhanced versions.
Yeah. So they released Mario All Stars, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, Mario 3D All Stars,
That
which
was it.
was
Yeah.
only for a limited period. There was the little Game and Watch that they released that I've got two of and never played.
Yep.
They also had Bowser's Fury, was it?
Yes.
Re-release of Mario
Mario
3D
3D World with
Mario
Bowser's
3D
Fury,
World, which was the re-release of the one that was on
and
the
then
Wii U.
Bowser's Fury was a new
Yeah,
game.
and that was like the new expanded bit on top, which I've heard is like a completely separate game.
Oh, it is, and it is very different. I really enjoyed it.
I guess though, again, the last 2 years, a lot of plans have been thrown up into the air.
Yeah, a lot of things have been stopped and halted, unfortunately.
Yeah,
With the Xbox One, I still need to watch the
power on.
documentary.
Yeah, I actually watched all 6 episodes of that. I just binged it.
How was it?
It was actually quite interesting. Yeah, there was
I need to watch it. I need to go on to
quite a lot
watching
of
it.
interesting bits in it, especially where they get up to like Red Ring of Death.
I was about to say, we spoke about this before, but I kind of feel like I should get the Red Ring of Death poster. Be like, I survived this generation.
I saw it on Twitter where it was a Red Ring of Death, and someone just put underneath it, "Well, Microsoft need to make back that $1 billion of lost profit somehow, don't they?"
Yes.
At least 15 years on, we can look back and laugh at it.
We
Just
can.
about. Do you know what? I've still got one of the original Xbox 360s in the loft that, as far as I'm aware, still works.
Did it have a Red Ring of Death?
No, it never got Red Ring of Death. It's so old it doesn't even have a HDMI on it.
I don't think my 360s do. They've all got the SCART adapter.
The newer ones also had that chunky connection as well, where you use SCART or composite, which I think was what came with it. I have a VGA adapter because that's how
Oh,
I got
flipping heck.
HD out of it, because there was no HDMI. So I had to run mine through VGA instead. I think Microsoft have definitely put the most effort into the anniversary over
Yeah, but
Nintendo and Sega.
I look at Phil Spencer being the main runner for that. I mean, the fact that they released Halo Infinite multiplayer as a surprise during it as well,
Yeah.
you didn't believe was going to happen. But yeah,
No, I honestly didn't think they would just go release it then. I thought, for the sake of a couple of weeks, they ain't going to do it.
nah, they were like, let's get the fans ready. Let's drop
Yeah.
this. And it was received so well.
Well, was it? Was it really? It's had a pretty tough reception.
Well, okay, no, in regards to the battle pass progression, sorry.
Fortunately, I think a lot of that's been remedied.
Gameplay and everything else is fantastic. It's just the battle pass progression which it's not received well on.
Yeah, they just need to do something about those cheaters now.
Oh, what is?
I saw a video today where a guy is literally shooting out of bounds and getting headshots.
Dirty cheese.
Yeah, dirty cheaters.
Yeah, but the things though, they're easily spotted now because people can just record and they just chuck it
I've
online.
heard actually some of them can corrupt the recordings,
Video?
so you can't go back
Really?
and rewatch them. Yeah, I've heard it. I've never experienced it. I just call everyone a cheater who beats me, so that's like everyone.
Everyone.
Yeah, you cheated. I'm reporting you.
Oh no, I lost. I hate you. Report.
Yeah. Let's end on a high note. What are you looking forward to in 2022?
If I'm going to be completely honest, co-op in Halo Infinite.
Actually, I just want new content. I don't know if it's true,
Yeah.
but I did see a leaked screenshot this morning of potential DLC for Halo Infinite campaign where he's
There's
flying
got
over
to
a
be.
snowy mountain.
There's so much they could do there. Because it's all open world, they can easily release DLC.
Yeah.
I can see them doing that. I can see Halo Infinite being one where they're going to constantly be putting more and more campaign stuff into it. I reckon when co-op campaign comes out, I reckon there will be extra campaign levels being released out.
Yeah.
I think that will be. I think it'll change the game up a lot more.
Yeah, I hope they add in the Hornet as well.
Yes, the Hornet was great.
Just
I can't
for getting
believe
round in co-op.
Yeah.
When the co-op comes, I want the Hornet back.
The Hornet was such a great vehicle.
The Wasp's okay, but you want the Hornet.
You can't have two Marines at our side with rocket launchers each.
I think for next year, some of the things I'm looking forward to is the new Sonic game and movie.
Yes.
We should have the Mario movie next year as well.
The Halo TV program.
Hey, oh god, yeah, I forgot about that. The Halo
How
TV
can you forget about
series.
that?
There's
Oh,
so much,
there is so much.
but I think we've already mentioned it. But I think for me, Steam Deck. I really want my Steam Deck.
This is why it didn't turn up till the year after.
Shut up! Don't you dare jinx it.
Now, so with it being New Year's Eve, we wish you all the best for the next year to come. Hopefully, it'll be a better year.
Really hope it's a better year.
Really hope it's going to be a better year.
No, don't you dare jinx it. So, thank you for listening, and we'd love to know what your highlights of 2021 are. So, get in touch, let us know. We're always interested to hear back from you. As always, information on everything we talked about in today's podcast can be found in the full show notes available at retrogamingdads.co.uk.
We've been the Retro Gaming Dads, and we will see you next year. We've been the Retro Gaming Dads.
The what?
I don't know.
I've worn my pants out, being on my knees this over the last couple of days, doing Lego on the floor. I've literally wore a hole in my jogging pants. Right.